The next thing we're gonna be doing in today's Twinkie-filled video is filling a Twinkie with liquid nitrogen. And this stuff is cold. So cold that I'm hoping that I can actually shatter a Twinkie. Not only that, but I really want to find out what a frozen Twinkie tastes like. It's like a Twinkie popsicle. One could only imagine, but few have dared to go there before. And besides that, it's gonna be pretty weird. Let's get to it. So, if you've never used one of these things before, this is liquid nitrogen. It's meant to spray on people and things and whatever else. I don't really know what it's used for. I guess you're supposed to spray it on somebody's injury, and that kind of makes sense. So you could use this like in lieu of an ice pack. So you could always have something freezing cold ready to go. The other thing you can use these for is weird YouTube videos, as I will now demonstrate. The first thing that I want to do is insert this straw deep into the Twinkie's hole that it has here, and we're gonna fill this up with liquid nitrogen. Okay. It's alive! You can already visually see the difference between that one and this one. I'm gonna create another ice hole for this Twinkie and get to squirting. Oh my, that's so cold. This is like a little blizzard in a can. This thing is impressive. It's too cold to even touch already. It feels like it's dry ice or hot ice. I forget what that's called. You know what I'm talking about. I'm just gonna back the camera up a little bit so that way you guys can see the amount of destruction that this thing is doing. That's pretty hardcore. Everything is frozen now. Oh my God. That's pretty intense. Well, I can't put the straw in it anymore because this thing is frozen solid. Oh, and I guess that's the entire can. Well, we put it to good use. Now, let's try some experiments. I want to try to cut through this Twinkie. Oh, that was tough. That was like cutting through wood. That... Ah, it's too cold to touch. I'm not even kidding. There's no way you could eat that. The outside is so cold. I can already tell that's not gonna quite shatter like how I wanted it to, so I won't go get a hammer, but I will break it with the butt of this knife. Or I'll try to. Wow, that thing is like indestructible. I've never hit a Twinkie and not made it the whole way through. As you can see here, the knife got into a fight with the Twinkie, and the Twinkie won. That's pretty much what happened here. So now the only thing left to do is find out what a frozen Twinkie tastes like. Ah, that's so cold! Oh my God, I can barely even hold the plate. Ah, okay. It's crunchy. It's warmed up just enough to where you can eat it. That was timed out perfectly. There's still some frozen parts in it, but you can get through it. To be honest, I could totally see somebody ordering one of these at a fancy restaurant and paying all sorts of money for this. Maybe it's that I don't have a very refined palate, but this tastes just like some high-end dessert you would buy from a 5-star restaurant. Again, I don't have a very refined palate, but it just tastes really good to me. Also, maybe it's because I'm not used to all these different textures. It just seems fancy. That's the impression I'm getting from it. Although, I would imagine that from a viewer's standpoint, it doesn't look very fancy. It probably just looks really weird. And if that's what you're thinking, I gotta say, I agree with that. That being said, we'll be on to the next one. For this life hack, we're gonna be finding out if Coca-Cola can remove gum from my hair. According to the internet, they say if you happen to get gum stuck in your hair, and I don't know how you would end up doing that, but if you do, you can remove it with Coca-Cola. I don't know if that's true or not, but I do know a life hack that will work, and that is peanut butter. And I know that because I've already tried it out. Peanut butter will dissolve gum that's in your hair. I actually took a big wad of gum one time, stuck it in my hair, mushed it in really, really well, and peanut butter got the gum out of my hair with no problem. So if the Coke doesn't work, the peanut butter will. And that being said, let's get this thing going. So here we are, just chewing some bubble gum and pouring soda on my head in my shower. Seems kind of like the good old days. Can't even figure out how to get this stuff open. There we go. What kind of pack is this for gum? I mean, it's good. I'm sure it's gonna work, but that's new, man. When I was a kid, they didn't have that. It's kind of neat. Nobody sponsored me to show this gum label, so I'm not going to. But I am gonna choose several pieces of it because I wanna make a big wad to put in my hair. That's what she said. 4 should probably do it. Okay, the gum is all chewed up now. Ugh, that's disgusting. And I'm just gonna shove this in my hair right here on the side where you can see it, and hopefully I'll be able to remove it somehow. Oh gosh. Oh yeah. It's all up in there now. God, you can't even like see it now. It is gone. I really hope this Coke thing works. It's gonna mash in there. There's something that seems really wrong about this, because there is something really wrong about this. That is ridiculous. Alright, now they say that Coca-Cola can get this out, so I really hope they're right. The internet has lied to me so many times that I don't know why I'd be willing to try this. Let's give it a shot. Okay, I'm just gonna... So far, it's doing absolutely nothing. The gum is still just as stuck in my hair. I'm still pouring it. Got no results yet. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you other than that life hack absolutely does not work. I'm so happy I know another one that does. Wow. Whoever came up with this life hack is really trying to screw over their audience. I mean, just imagine for a second you did accidentally get gum in your hair and then somebody told you to just pour Coke all over your head. And so you did it, but it did not help you at all. At that point, you're just covered in soda with gum in your hair. And I'm probably one of the only people on earth that actually knows what that's like. It's not good. But now I'm gonna be one of the only people. Now I'm going to be the only person on earth that knows what it's like to have Coke in your hair, plus gum, and now also peanut butter. But it's the magic trifecta. Without the peanut butter, everything else would just have to stay up here forever. And that does not work for me. Now, all I have to do is remove the peanut butter from my hair, and I should be home free. Should be. Maybe just a dab more peanut butter. Okay, now I'm just gonna simply comb my hair just to check to make sure that it's all gone. And there you have it. After a brief comb through, I'm back to normal again. Or as normal as I can get. But wow, I feel utterly betrayed in being told that I could remove gum from my hair using soda. If anybody else has different results out there when trying this, let me know. I'm interested to find out if maybe it was the type of gum I was using. Let me know in the comments. That being said, we'll be on to the next one. For this next life hack, what I'm gonna be doing is making myself vampire teeth. Not because it makes sense to do that or anything, but because life hack channels have suggested for me too. But the way they've suggested to do it is actually kind of weird. They suggest to do it with a hot glue gun, which for them is actually typical. They say to do everything with hot glue. But to be honest, they never actually usually show how that's done. It's more like a clickbait thing for a thumbnail, but then never really talked about in the video itself. I mean, there are a few exceptions online, but most of the time when you see that in a thumbnail, it doesn't mean anything. But today, I'm hoping to change all of that and make something that's pretty stupid. I'll be using my high temperature hot glue gun to make some teeth, and then using a much lower temperature glue gun to apply them. Now what I'm gonna be using for a mat is this silicone baking sheet. It's actually used to make muffins, and we have made muffins with it, even on this channel. But now, we're gonna be making vampire teeth. And I think I'm gonna try to make it about the width of my pinky nail. Okay, I know it doesn't look like much now, and it's probably not gonna look like much later. But if we let this dry and then put it in my mouth, it might look pretty cool. Shouldn't be long, and we'll find out. So now here are the two little teeth that I've made. I'm just gonna try to peel these off and then stick them to my real teeth. And they came off pretty easily. That's awesome. Look. Silicone is the best at everything, forever. I should have probably already had this one warming up. Now this is a low temperature glue gun. It uses the same stuff, but it's not as hot. And not only that, but I'm gonna let it sit there and cool off for a little bit and wait till it's almost about hardened, and then I'll apply it. At that point, it's barely gonna be warm at all. And as we know from previous life hack videos I've done, you can actually squirt this stuff straight onto your mouth. That's what she said. I mean, really, look, you can just sort of, I mean, it looks crazy because, you know, it looks like a hot glue gun, but it's not the same thing. It's not even hot. I mean, it's fine. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's hot. You wouldn't want to touch it to your bare skin. I've eaten food that's a lot hotter than this. Matter of fact, my morning coffee is usually way hotter than this. So if that gives you an idea on the level of temperature. But again, you would not want to just put it right to your skin. That would probably hurt. But now I'm going to try to apply my teeth. I don't know where it went. All right, well, I just straight up lost that first one, so I made another one. It's probably stuck to my back or something, but I will never find it. That being said, I'm still gonna try to apply this other one that I made while the other one is cooling. And there you have it. Now I have vampire teeth. They do tend to come off pretty easy. I want to suck your... I've got vampire teeth. Let's have a kiss. Speaking of drinking coffee, I probably need to get my teeth whitened. Yeah, I've actually got them hanging in there pretty good now. I'm having a little bit too much fun with these. Oh, it came off again. It's not the perfect solution to a Halloween costume, but it is kind of fun. And surprisingly, I was able to get it to work. Not like most life hacks. And that being said, we'll be on to the next one. All right, well, we're back for another episode of What Exactly Is That Haircut Supposed to Be Anyways? Where I just try to figure out if maybe doing that would help, but it doesn't. No, actually what we're gonna be doing here is testing out a life hack that I saw online. Of all places. So according to the internet, if you take soda and fill a hot water heater and set it to boil, it will remove any lime scale that may be on your hot water heater. By the way, I don't know if that's what these things are called. I'm just guessing on that. Electric kettle. There you go. Now I don't really know if this is gonna work or not, but I'm guessing not just because, well, it came from the internet. But I have seen how Coke can take the rust off of a penny in like a day, so I'm thinking maybe there's a chance. But I should never get my hopes up. And I just realized that my camera probably wasn't focused accurately, so now let's get this thing going! So I want to give you guys a close-up shot so you can see exactly how much lime scale is on this pitcher. And to be honest, this is from just a few times of boiling water with this. I mean, that is a lot of lime scale. But luckily, the internet says it has a solution, and it's gonna involve a lot of sugar, just like all good things. And that being said, let's get this thing going. Well, I guess now there's really nothing left except for me filling this with soda and seeing how full of crap the internet really is. That almost came out differently. There was a time you didn't have to use the word crap. Those were the good old days. I guess you don't really have to use the word crap now. Sugar, bum 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 bum. Oh, honey, honey, bum 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 bum. You are my sugar girl. I shouldn't sing ever, huh? Now I'm gonna fill this about to the max here, because I'm expecting maximum results. Oh, looks like it's done. Now I just have to pour all this out, and then we'll see what we've got. Now I'm just gonna wipe it down with the paper towel. Oh my God, it actually worked. I cannot believe that. This thing looks exactly like it did when it was brand new. That's pretty awesome. And it was a lot easier than cleaning it any other way that I had tried. Alcohol does a pretty good job, but honestly, soda does an even better job at cleaning your electric tea kettle. This is amazing. I'm honestly just that excited because I use this thing a lot. I drink coffee like it's my job. I'm really not even sure if it's not. I don't know, but I drink it like it is. And so this life hack for me is gonna be getting used quite a bit. And that being said, we'll be on to the next one. So for this next toilet paper hack for teens, what we're gonna be doing is putting egg on my face. And that's not just an expression. There's actually gonna be literal egg on my face, and more than likely metaphorical egg on my face as well. Which means that I'm gonna be pretty embarrassed, but that's nothing new for me, especially on this channel. And that being said, let's get this thing going. The first step is pretty easy, and it's gonna start off basically like a cooking hack. We need to separate the egg yolk from the egg white. And that is the best way to separate a yolk ever. Before we move on, I actually just want to show you guys how fun it is to play with an egg yolk. I mean, that's really weird right there. The egg yolk is completely intact and it's able to roll around in my hand without breaking. It's super weird. I wonder if I can throw it into the air and catch it. Oh my God, it's still intact. I'm not even, Okay, it's not anymore. It's not anymore. Something told me that wasn't gonna work, but that's okay. We actually did not need this part of the egg anyways. We can, we'll finish cleaning that up later. Right now what I'm gonna be doing is actually putting the literal egg on my face. This is the egg whites that we just separated. You know, the part that didn't end up on the ground. And I'm just gonna be taking this and brushing it onto my face. Should be pretty fun. I mean, not for me, but hopefully you guys will enjoy this because it's gonna be pretty terrible on my end. But don't worry, after this, it only gets worse. Okay, next up is where the toilet paper gets involved, and I just have to stick the toilet paper to my face, and then cover over that in more egg. I'm basically making myself into an egg paper mache, and this is gonna be good for my skin? Ha! Okay, maybe it's not that preposterous, but we are gonna try it out either way. Just to make sure it's really gonna mask up, I'm gonna have to paint over this again. Okay, now I have to go through the fun part of waiting about 15 minutes or so while all this dries up on my face. Meanwhile, I have no idea what it's actually doing to me. So that makes this all the much more fun. And I'm trying not to use too much expression in my face because if I move too much, then it'll come off too early. And that would just ruin everything, wouldn't it? Kristen, how do I look?
I think you got more handsome.
Good. See, it's working already. Now guys, you gotta make sure never to actually eat any of your face mask because then you'll get salmonella poisoning and possibly die. And it's not that important to look good. And trust me, I look good. I may know a trick that could speed things up a little bit because this is taking a while. And as you guys know, I'm not very patient. So. It feels pretty dry to me. I think I'm gonna try to take it off and see what happens. Okay, that one came off kind of easy. Oh yeah, this one's working. All right. Well, it left a little bit of toilet paper on my face, but that's okay. Actually, it does feel pretty smooth right here. Oh, that one worked perfectly. Wow, my nose actually does feel a lot better. And that one was terrible. So it's kind of hit or miss actually. Well, I definitely say that you might want to go with another kind of face mask if you can, but this probably isn't the craziest thing in the world to try. That is, if you're into having face masks put on. But I told you by the end of this, I'd have egg all over my face, and I definitely feel like I do. But to be honest, as good as that face mask was or wasn't, I still have to go wash my face now because there's egg all over it in more ways than one. And that being said, we'll be on to the next dare. For this next life hack, we're back in my shower. Again, only this time we're gonna be finding out if a classic life hack works, and that is soaking your shower head in vinegar to make it work again. Now, as many of you may know, a shower head only stays working perfectly for so long, and then crusty water buildup starts to coagulate inside of the device, and it just doesn't work anymore. It sprays water in every direction, and you're not getting good water flow. Not only that, but it's pretty disgusting and embarrassing when people come over and see it. Now, unfortunately, a lot of people are probably gonna see my shower head because I'm gonna show it on the video right now. So I'm just gonna turn on my shower head and we'll see how disgusting it looks. So as you can see, some of those little holes allow more water through than others. This one right here has just got like a tiny drip coming out, while others seem to be working perfectly. And not only that, but well, it just looks disgusting. I mean, doesn't it? That's kind of gross. I'm sorry I showed that to you guys, but we are gonna clean it off. Now, according to the internet, all you have to do if you want to clean one of these things off is hang a bag full of vinegar around the shower head and just let it soak in that. I think I've got a better idea. Rather than hanging a bag from my shower head and likely having it fall off and spill all over the place, I'm just gonna remove the shower head. Right? Like that was pretty easy. And it's not just because this shower head's easy to remove. That's what it's like with all shower heads, at least all the ones I've ever used. Now, as you can see, I have a bowl right here and a big jug of vinegar. I'm just gonna simply fill the bowl completely up with vinegar. Now, even though this life hack might work, if you hang a bag from your shower head, you might be a little slow. Just saying, just throwing that out there. Maybe not, maybe you are, I don't know. But this way I think will work a lot better if the vinegar does do its job, which I kind of expect it will. But we're gonna give it a couple hours and then we'll find out, which for you guys will be just an instant. Matter of fact, we'll just take a look right now. Okay, so it's been a while. I'm just now taking this thing out and it actually looks pretty good. Surprisingly. I mean, not too surprisingly, it was kind of supposed to do that, but you never can tell with these life hacks. But the question is not, does it look good? The question is, does it work? I mean, there's a good chance that it did just wipe off the crud on the outside, but that it's still completely clogged up on the inside. But let's find out first. All right, now I'll just turn on the shower head and we'll see what happens. That works amazing! Look at that! It's completely fixed! And now I can finally take a shower again! It's been years! Okay, well maybe it hasn't completely stopped me from taking a shower, but it was a pain in the butt. Now I'll be able to do that without having to worry about water going everywhere, and I wasn't really that worried about it anyways. That being said, let's get on to the next one. The next thing that we're gonna be doing in today's video is making a shirt folding machine, which coincidentally, when I'm doing laundry, is also my superhero name. The laundry doing machine. That's a terrible superhero. But that being said, we're gonna be making this shirt folding machine out of just white envelopes. Really doesn't matter what kind of envelopes you use. The original design called for cardboard, but I didn't feel like cutting out this many squares of cardboard, and really anything will work as long as it's about that size. So I'm sure a lot of you are saying, how are you gonna fold a shirt with a bunch of envelopes? That doesn't make any sense at all. Well, first, you have to tape them together. Like with all good inventions, it requires a lot of masking tape, or duct tape, or super glue, but you're gonna need something like that to get through any invention. Take that from somebody who's never invented anything. But basically all you need is 6 squares that are all about the same size, and you create 2 rows of 3, and you connect all the top row together. Then you connect the bottom middle square to the top square. And then you guessed it, you connect the bottom sides to the middle. And to be honest, you can put tape anywhere you want, it's not gonna mess anything up. I'm actually gonna tape all the pieces together. It'll actually probably work better like that anyways. And there it is, that is my shirt folding machine. Now let's see how it works. So now it's time to test out what we've made. Will this t-shirt folding device work, or will it just be another life hack that ends in disappointment? Well, there's only one way to find out. So according to life hack channels, all you have to do is make 1 flop. Oh, it's looking pretty good. 2 flops. And then the third and final fold. And there it is. That's actually not bad at all. I gotta admit, this is probably a little bit neater than the other method that I know, which is wrinkling it up into a ball and throwing it in the corner. I can definitely see why Marie Kondo's doing this sort of stuff. It's kind of fun. And it's satisfying, just wow. It's even more satisfying when you add sound effects to it, just like, well, most things in life. Wata! I am destroying it a little bit here, but that's okay. It's just made out of paper. And then the final fold, which is of course the most dramatic of all folds. Wapa! And it's done. That's pretty cool. I gotta admit, that's not bad. And for somebody like me that just doesn't have the dexterity to do things neatly, you know, ever, this is actually a pretty big help. I mean, I'm serious, I can't do anything neat. You should see my penmanship, it's pretty terrible. It's somewhere between doctor and kindergartner, which in the penmanship world is pretty bad. So in conclusion, I'd say that this is a pretty good way of folding your clothes. I mean, maybe not 100% perfect, but this isn't a perfect machine. This is just something I whipped together in like a second. But the question is there an easier way? And if there is, we're gonna find it. And that being said, we'll be on to the next thing, which is a maybe better way of doing this exact thing. Okay, for this one, you may have seen it before, but we're just gonna go through it one more time. So you pinch the top of the shirt, then you pinch somewhere in the middle, then you go down here and you pinch the bottom of the shirt, then whoop, you flip, and it's folded. Not bad. I mean, I'd say it's about as good as the way the other one worked. It's not 100% perfect, but I am no Marie Kondo. I'm just a random dude trying to get his laundry done. But I gotta say, that's not a bad fold job, even for Marie Kondo, but especially not for me. Not only that, but I did not have to waste 6 envelopes to do this. It was incredibly easy, and I did not have to build some contraption just to be able to fold a shirt. So that being said, I'd say that this is probably the better folding technique, but the other one might be better if you're folding a large volume of clothes, or if you're like me and you just don't have the dexterity and coordination to be able to do that accurately every single time. And that being said, we'll be on to the next one. Now, let's get this thing going with what I think could be the best way to get permanently banned from whatever hotel you want. And since I am staying in a hotel room this weekend, I wanted to also make sure to remind you guys that when you're in a hotel, you should definitely tip the people that clean your room and bring you food. And you should also definitely prank them. Not sure why, but it just seems like a really good opportunity. And luckily for me, it's pretty easy to do. All you have to do is arrange your pillows in such a way that, well, it gives them a heart attack. That sounds weird, but I'll show you. To complete this life hack, all you have to do is arrange the pillows in your room underneath the blanket to look somewhat like a person. And ordinarily, that would probably be just short of a good prank. But in order to pull off this prank, you're probably gonna wanna donate a pair of shoes to this cause. And with that, you've likely made someone else's day a terrifying nightmare. And if you can donate some shoes to the cause, that will definitely help pull off the effect. Quick trip to Payless and we're in business. Actually, they're not in business. Payless is going out of business. But that's not gonna stop the person that cleans this room from having a heart attack. To be honest, I'm actually not gonna be leaving the room looking like this. I, for one, do not wanna be responsible when somebody sees this and has a heart attack. And that being said, we'll be on to the next one. So according to the internet, they say that if you draw on your wall with crayons, which I'm about to do, you can easily wipe it off with just a little bit of WD-40, which I also have. Or the generic. Should be good enough. That is, if this works. Otherwise, I'll just have a weird drawing on my wall. And I'm not an artist, so you can pretty much bet that this is gonna be terrible. Not even really sure what to draw yet. Maybe a smiley face or, I don't know. I guess that's about it. Or maybe I should do something Bob Ross-ish. Just draw some pretty trees over here, fill it all in, and you can't even mess it up. No matter what you do, it's gonna look great. Oh, look, we're gonna have a waterfall. It just goes into a nice stream. And over here, we've got the tops of the mountains. And look, there's just a nice little tree. We're gonna put a lot of detail into this one over here. That really pulls it together right there. So this is my amazing drawing. Not quite a Bob Ross drawing, but it's the best I can do, which is pretty terrible. But that's okay, because we're gonna immediately try to get this off of my wall by spraying some sort of a lubricant on it and wiping it with a towel. I don't know, I'd say a 50-50 chance that this works. Let's see. I'd say that worked for the most part. I don't know how much of this is getting picked up on camera, but there's definitely a blue haze that it's left behind. Let's see if I can work that out a little bit more. Well, the wall is definitely a lot shinier. And to be honest, that looks pretty terrible. See, it looks fine until I back it up and you can see exactly what I'm talking about over here. That's where my Bob Ross drawing used to be. Looks like that's probably where I should put a picture. I know that probably looks like a shadow in the middle of the screen, but it's not. That's a stain from the WD-40 I just sprayed on it and the drawing that is mostly gone now, but, well, it left a little something behind. That looks amazing. But like I said, this probably makes for a great place to hang a picture. Luckily, I think I just have one right here. Yeah, much better. The next thing we're gonna be doing in today's video is putting Elmer's glue on my face and peeling it off, which is weird, but I've actually done that before. Oh, wow. My face is peeling. Oh my God. Help me. But the reason we're gonna be doing it this time is to find out if I can actually pull out some of the blackheads and whatever other kind of stuff that's inside of my face that needs to come off. Before I was just doing it to, well, just to be weird. Not that this isn't weird, it's a little bit weird. I mean, I'm pulling stuff out of my face. That's not normal, at least, but that is only if it's successful. And we're doing this because there's a really popular life hack going around the internet saying that if you put Elmer's glue on your face and peel it off, that it will work just like any other face masks that you buy from the store that's actually meant to pull the stuff out of your face. Seeing as how the eyelash curler did not work to remove the things from my face that I'm sure are in there, this may be our only hope. And that being said, let's get this thing going. Now, all I'm going to be doing is putting a little bit of Elmer's glue on the tip of my finger and then rubbing that across my nose. I'm just trying to put the glue exactly where one of those strips would go that you buy from the store. Try to smooth it out nice and even, so hopefully when I go to peel it off, it actually peels off. If something goes wrong, well, that's to be expected. And it should take only a few minutes for all this to dry. So it looks like everything's dried up now because it's invisible, pretty much. Whoa, that's kind of weird. Wow. Okay. It's usually not so wrinkly up here on the bridge of my nose. Oh, but it did help to loosen the glue up a little bit. Oh, wow. So if I just kind of like pull my face, the glue starts to come up. Okay. Wow. I'm not even really having to like try. I just kind of wiggle my nose a little bit. My nose looks like it's about to fly away. All right. I I got it all off on one piece. That's crazy. Let's put this under the light and then we'll be able to tell if we actually got anything out of my nose or not. But I'll tell you one thing, it definitely feels a lot smoother. That was a weird sensation. I gotta say though, I don't mind it. That was pretty interesting. All right, let's look at this. Okay, so that's what we're left with. And I'm not sure exactly how much of this is gonna be able to show up on video, but if you look at it, basically under a microscope, as close as you possibly can, you can actually see that there are small, tiny little white dots all over it. Now, I'm not saying that the Elmer's glue face mask didn't do a good job. I think it did. I just think that there's probably a whole lot of other stuff in my nose that did not come out with any of the methods that we tried here today. That being said, I'm not terribly surprised. However, unlike usual, I'm also not terribly disappointed with this either. My nose feels a lot smoother now from all the things that I've done with it. But either way, I'm satisfied. And that being said, we'll be on to the next thing.